Welcome to the Thought Space. Today's question is, who are we without memory? So if you lost all your memory tomorrow, would you still be the same person? Before we're going to have a look at something that Locke said about personal identity and memory, we're going to dive deeper into what memories really are and what kind of versions of memories exist. So what is memory really? You could say that memory is just a faculty by which the mind stores and remembers information. There are different kinds of memories, such as habit memory, recollective memory, or even propositional memory. But we're not going to dive deeper into this because we don't really need it to understand what Locke is going to say about identity and memory. Talking about memory, you could also categorize between declarative memory and non-declarative memory. Declarative memory is really on the now that. It's based on facts and often it's episodic, so it's really about events of one's personal past. It can also be semantic, so it's very much about the world in general. But the know-how, the non-declarative memory, is really just about how you do something and does not really need a conscious recall. So it's know that when you're telling me that you've been to a birthday party or that you know that there's been a birthday party yesterday, but it's about non-declarative memory or the know-how, when you can just talk to me or know how to ride a bike, you can go swimming, you can breathe, it's just like you can move your hands, it's something that you don't really need to think of, but you just know how to do it and you just do it basically without even knowing it. But now we know enough about memory, and let's get back to what Locke really said about personal identity and memory. So the philosopher John Locke believed that personal identity is based on consciousness and memory. According to the theory, we remain the same when we believe being that person. But that really raises difficult questions, doesn't it? We humans forget things all the time. I personally would say that I forget so many things, and even just like events from the past. We can't really remember some details or some important stuff sometimes. And just think about the people that are like suffering from amnesia or dementia. It's going to be very difficult to state that they are just losing parts of themselves or maybe are not just the same person. I personally would also criticize that maybe our human brain is not really designed to remember everything in detail and every event or everything that really has happened in our lifetime, I would say. So I think it's whether complicated, if it's even possible for us humans to let our identity or let ourselves really fit into our brain and let that faculty of memory really carry something that is so important to us and so, I would say, precious. So I don't think that our personal identity is really based on memory and consciousness in case of many facts, but also because of we are not really able to define identity, our being, just by something that is really not even promised to us to keep us here. So I would just say that it is not promised to every one of us to stay healthy for the whole life. So I wouldn't really like hyperfixate personal identity on that aspect. I would also consider that maybe when we are unconscious, just like maybe we're passing out, we're laying in a coma, or maybe we're just sleeping, we are still the same person. And that would really mean, by Locke's theory, it would really mean that we're not the same person, and it really just would not make sense in terms of that we're the same person and we're just unconscious about it at that moment. Lastly, and in addition, I would also add that I personally think that we are more than just our thoughts and more than what we just remember. And I think personal identity is really based on who we are and really on how we perceive the world, maybe just about our emotions, about the way we are to other people, about the way we treat people, and maybe even just about our experiences and the way we're dealing with them. So I think our identity is way more than just what we remember. And really, really important for me would be that we should not measure our personal identity on some things that have happened in our past and that we may are carrying around with us, whether they are good or bad. I don't know. But it's more about who we are in that present moment, about who we are right now, who we choose to be, and who we are going to be in the future. So maybe personal identity is way more complex than something that we may remember or may not. I hope you enjoyed this video. I am very, very interested in your perspective and view on Locke's statement to personal identity and memory. And yeah, these are just my thoughts. Feel free to really reach out and tell us something about your thoughts about personal identity.